So let's start off with a floor. So create environment floor, and let's make that a collider body. It's going to be the floor, otherwise everything's just going to fall off down through the bottom of our scene. So let's make sure the floor is selected, go tags, simulation, collider. Okay, so that's going to be a collider body. Now I'm going to make a cube, create primitive cube. I'm going to shift it so it's just above the floor, and I'm going to make this a rigid body. So let's go tags, simulation tags, rigid body. Okay, so I want, let's have a bunch of objects on here that I can bulldoze with my collider. So let's just Command C, Command V the cube, and because it's got a rigid body tag on already, the copy pasted cube will also have a rigid body tag. So let's put a couple of those in, and let's just move these around so that they're not all sitting on top of each other. Whoops, make sure they stay above the ground plane. And I'll make a couple of other shapes as well. So let's create maybe a sphere. And again, let's just shift that off the ground and put a rigid body tag on that one. Rigid body. Maybe make that one a little bit bigger. Now I just want to make sure that none of these are sticking through the floor, otherwise that'll give us problems. So I can copy and paste the sphere. The other thing I can do is hold down the Command key and just move the sphere, and that will duplicate it. So let's just have a couple of these. Okay, that'll do. So these are my rigid bodies, and if I hit play, they just settle onto the surface a little bit, but there's nothing else going on, so that's fine. So what I want to show now is how a collider body can be animated to push these things around. So let's create a cylinder. So this is going to be my pushing object that shoves everything around, and I'm just going to shift it over to one side. Let's make it fairly large, and I'll put it sort of in mid-air. Here we go. And I'm going to set some keyframes on this cylinder. So let's make sure we're at frame 0, make sure the cylinder's selected, and let's hit the keyframe button. And let's go forward a couple of seconds and shift it over here and set a keyframe, and then a couple more seconds, and let's just spin my view around, shift it over here and set a keyframe. So let's rewind and see what happens. So if I hit play, okay, nothing's happening there. My cylinder is just sliding around, nothing's going on. That's because I haven't made this a rigid body of any type. So let's go back to frame 0 and create, under simulation tags, a collider body. So remember, collider bodies, they don't get affected by forces or fields, but they do participate in rigid body simulations, and you can keyframe them. That's the important part. So I've got some keyframe animation. So let's hit play now, and there we can go. Yep, there we see it's going through a scene and pushing everything out the way. So that's a really simple demonstration of how a collider body can be keyframed to interact with rigid bodies.